Welcome back to another episode of Top Disc. I've got the Streamline Range, and I am very excited to throw this disc. It is definitely hyped. Eagle has done a good job promoting the disc. Streamline has done a good job getting the brand out there with this new release. So with the culling tempo, the Streamline Range, got a pretty solid lineup. But the idea here is that we take this to the 9-hole test course. I put it up to the test against all the other discs. We give it a rating. If it gets above a 9, it's probably going in the bag. If it's an 8, maybe it works itself in the bag. I need to learn the disc a little bit more. Under an 8, it did not fly how either I expected it to fly, or we just really didn't like the disc. And that is okay. Not every disc is for everyone. So I want to figure out who this disc is for. Everyone has obviously heard of the Berg. The Berg is a disc that I love. It's probably one of my favorite molds I've ever thrown. I'm saving this Berg for the Top Disc series. It's going to be way up there, but it's super puddle top, right? Like there's a lot of space on the top. You could pour water in it. Maybe that's a good test to see how much water the top of the Berg versus the Range can hold. But the Range is definitely not as puddle topped as the Berg. The actual height on the discs is basically the same, and this one's a little bit more rounded. So I think it might cut through the wind better than just how blunt the nose is on the Berg. So flight numbers, pretty similar. 1102 on the Berg. You've got 2, 1, negative 0.5, and 0.5 on the Range. That tells me this is going to be a very straight disc. It still feels like it's going to have some overstability. It doesn't look like it's going to glide much, but that's where we're about to put it to the test. Let's see what score the Range gets. Okay, Range. This is going to be a little out of maybe the range of the Range. I'm only going to use that pun one time, okay? I promise. That was an accidental one too. I think it's going to flip over a little bit for me, so we're going to throw it like it's a turnover putter shot. I do that with a lot of hyzer. How'd that go so far? Okay. That was surprising. Well, that was like a little unexpected, to be honest, with a Berg-like disc. Still probably in C1 or just out. Ooh, we almost rang it up. I'm going to try to get this with a forehand because I want this to be a disc I can work to the left. I mean, that was exactly what I was hoping that flight would be. I hope I wasn't in the way. You know, I normally wouldn't say a 250-foot uphill shot with a Range is a good idea. Let's see how it works. Oh, it just popped straight up. Look, there's just no movement. What was that? It was just like on a line. This Range made it all the way back here too. It's not really flying like a Berg would. Good catch, Chains.
24 hours later.
This one's kind of a tricky shot for this Range. So we're gonna see how this flies a lot of hyzer on forehand because it seems to flip up a lot more than a Berg would. So let's aim at the short cedar tree and see if we can flip it up. Okay, so it flipped up straight. Really no finish on it. We have the distance right with the Range. Problem is, cedar tree. Gotta maybe, we're just outside of circle. You do a putt, but I think it's funner to go for things with forehands. Oh yeah, see, that's so much funner to do. So much funner. You can do a lot of those with the Range or the Berg, but you know, initial impressions, super interesting flight on this thing. And it just flips up so nicely. I don't think the Range is gonna get there, I'm gonna be honest. We also have a straight, probably 10-mile-an-hour headwind that I'm throwing this into, so I'm gonna throw this a lot of hyzer, and I hope that it does the same thing where it just kind of just floats straight and glides. So I'm hoping that it just flips up and goes straight. Wish me luck. What is this disc? Why is it just flying so good? Look at this, we're like 5 feet from the pin. We're gonna throw this forehand, and this has straight into like a 10-mile-an-hour wind. So let's see if we can pop this up. Interesting. My Berg would definitely not do that. We did not quite make it all the way up the hill with the range. We made a putt last time going forehand at it. I wonder if I can do it again.
Nope.
Oh, chained out. Probably too much speed. This is gonna be a very good test for the range here. I have a straight right to left wind. I'm gonna throw it on a hyzer and see how it flips up, and I'm gonna guess it's gonna flip up and then drift a little bit. So I'm gonna aim just right, maybe 5 feet of the pin. I do gotta make sure I throw this hard enough to give it the ace run I want to. Yeah, I think that wind just pushed it over a little bit more than I was thinking, but I've learned that disc pretty quickly. Welcome back to lawsuit territory with hole number 2 out here, because yeah, don't hit anyone coming down the trail. You always gotta yell before you throw. So let's give the forehand a shot. We have a tailwind here, so it might not flip up as much as I want it to. Wow! God, that was close. We ended up in a pretty good spot. We actually gave it a pretty good run, to be honest. I'm guessing a lot of you probably have the range already. There's a reason why people are picking this disc up. While it probably makes more sense to throw a hyzer, I do want to show a very specific shot off here with the range. This is something I would normally pull off with a Berg, but I want to go inside this light pole, inside the second light pole, and just get this panning from an ante to flat going towards the pin. It's a pretty good shot to have in your bag if you don't feel super comfortable with backhands. So if you're more comfortable with forehands like I am, this is a fun shot, and this is a great disc to shape it in there with. Exactly what I was looking for with the range. It's a great approach disc. Really impressed with how this is just flying in the wind. And I don't think this is a Berg. I really don't. These are 2 separate discs. I could never hyzer flip a Berg 290 feet on some of these holes. Wow. Let's talk about this disc. This is the very first run of this in the Cosmic Neutron plastic. I mean, it's going to be stiff, it's going to be very torque resistant, and again, it's not going to be as puddle top as a Berg is. So if you've thrown a Berg, you know how crazy of the puddle top it is, but that's what makes the Berg so special, is that you throw it and it just dumps as soon as it gets to the pin. I've been the biggest proponent of the Berg. It's probably my favorite disc that I have ever thrown. So when this came out, I was like, I cannot wait to check it out. After throwing it, it is completely different than the Berg that I have in the bag. This is gonna have its own special slot. If I need something that I can throw a hyzer flip forehand and it just goes straight once it flips up the flat, that's the disc for me. Even into a 10-mile-an-hour headwind on hyzer, this flew as long as a normal putter, which you can't get out of the Berg. So this takes some of the best aspects of the Berg with the thumb track, the smooth rounded edge, and just does it a little bit better for slower arm speed players. So if you are a lower skilled player, maybe not lower skilled, but you don't throw as hard as some of the pros, this is basically going to be a Berg for you. For like myself, I'm a 976 rated golfer. For context, I'm going to be using this for flip up to flat shots on forehand, little baby touch shots where I want to pan from right to left. And then I'm also shocked that I can throw this on backhand with a hyzer flip and it releases where I want it to. I think backhand accuracy is always something I struggle with, you know? Getting the gap and learning to do hyzer flips is what's probably gonna take me to 1,000 rated. If I ever get there, it's because I learned how to throw hyzer flips. And I think this disc could unlock that. And it's a very forgiving mold as it's flying because of how thick the edge or the wing or the shoulder, whatever you want to call it is. That's a lot that the wind is gonna have to fight through, so it flies slowly, but has enough glide. I love it. I love it. I'm sure you can tell after I threw this 9 times that this is a pretty unique and special mold. So I'm gonna give this a 9.1. It is awesome. Super, super awesome disc. And I would highly recommend picking this up. I don't think you can really do a Berg versus Range. You know, like they're not the same disc at all. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what else you want to see me review. Get yourself a Range. These things are awesome.